This is the Simpli Sisters podcast. Girl, get in here, settle down, settle in, take up space and breathe. Come in this safe space where we believe in the power of sisterhood. We encourage truth and dialogue that promotes peace, clarity, and freedom. Join us here for conversations for the soul, because there is so much to talk about.
Hello, and welcome to Simpli Sisters podcast. I'm Simpli Tammy.
And I'm Coach Gail Benson.
And today we're going to talk about after all their ego. And this topic leads us to talk about how arrogance leaves a fool in the wind. This is an important topic because men and women alike have ego problems. Some people would agree and some don't. Some call it confidence. Arrogance and confidence and ego. Those are some different things. But the right one in a situation will get tired of that egotistical attitude. Because what happens when people have great egos is that they can't see the whole playing field.
Oh, yeah, no.
And they can't see the people around them, and they maneuver in their own space and place the way they see things, and they negate those that are walking beside them or behind them or those that they are in charge of. And this happens in a lot of households with men who lead their families by ego and not by the word and not how God specifies he is supposed to lead in that home, and vice versa. Those women in those homes who want to be in charge and take over, and they don't see the damage that they do to their family, their children, their kids, even at work. If you're in a position of authority and you have this great ego, how do you lead the people beneath you? Because you're supposed to have a servant, be a servant leader, and that ego. And people get tired of that, which means that person with the ego eventually may lose because the people around them get tired. And I have been in a situation where I've gotten tired because the ego was leading me instead of them seeing the whole playing field and us growing and doing together. The ego took over.
And most times it does.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, the egotistical habits are not properly identified because that person that is carrying that heavy weighted ego is under the impression that they are leading with love, leading because of their talents or because of the information that they have that they think that you don't have. And a lot of people with egotistical habits, they lead for control. They don't lead with love or lead with biblical standards. So from my experience is the ego was present all the time, and it never left room for any refining, for any adjustments to think that maybe there's another way or a better way to do something. The ego was so present. I mean, like all the time. And I promise you, it's men and women that do this. Once they see a thing a certain way in their mind and their reality, that is what it is.
It works.
It works
for them.
It works for them. And there's no taking on any other perspective. Because in their mind, that is true to fact. It is a matter of fact, and that is the way that they see it getting done. If you're in a partnership or you're in a marriage and you're the helpmate, you want to be heard too, but your voice, it disappears into that shadow of the ego. Yeah, your voice disappears into the shadow of the ego. Now, there may be some very crafty and talented people who make you think you're being heard, but actually it still leads back to their perspective. And the ego, it eclipses what you see, you think, what you have to offer. There's going to always be an eclipse of your thoughts and your perspective because the ego is so heavy weighted in that relationship. And most of us just fade into the background and just say, okay, we just let them have it.
Yeah, but then it becomes a torment to you, because what happens is, because God, the divine has given us all a voice, and this has like different arms, like a tree with different arms. Sometimes we put ourselves together with people that God didn't put us with, so that torment happens through that. And this egotistical person that you put yourself with now is leading you. You don't have a voice or a word, but you didn't take the time before that to figure this out. But you now have understood that I have a voice and I'm going to be heard. Then sometimes you don't know how to pull yourself back and out of that. But then you get tired, and then the clashing becomes, because you either become shut down or you become boisterous. Either way, it's damaging to the relationship.
Right.
And what I don't want, because I had to do it, is for my partner that I'm in a relationship with to walk on eggshells. And we have to have a conversation about it. I have to pay attention to it. And people with egos don't realize these things, because when you don't have a peripheral vision in the thing you're in, okay? It's like you driving straight ahead. You want to get over, but you didn't look in
But you won't look in your mirrors
to see if you
see
can
if
get
it's
over,
clear.
and you hit somebody else's car. Now, what has happened is not only your car is damaged, their stuff is damaged. You've caused them something they didn't even ask for.
But the other person, the problem.
The other,
Even though you didn't use your mirrors.
and if it's not broke, well,
don't fix it. We can talk now, you and I can talk about this all the live long day.
Yeah.
But it really is, it's an art to recognizing it,
yes,
because it gets masked
yes,
as so many different things. On the other side of that egotistical eclipse,
right.
we make excuses because it's easier to fade to the background instead of who wants to confront that heavy ego when you feel like your voice is not going to be heard. And my go-to was weight. And when I say weight, my weight was, why am I talking?
There you go.
Why am I talking?
Right.
I started exhausting myself.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm strategically preparing myself, because some of the things I know is, we know that it's not going to work, but somehow we always allow it to happen. And I'm strategically in my mind already ready to do damage control when it doesn't work.
Right.
They're never going to say, oh, it didn't work, we should have did what you said. That's not going to happen. That's very far and few.
Sorry to say,
but that is not going to happen. But this is the thing, even with in business, and y'all better move y'all toes out the way, because I'm getting ready to step on some toes.
Yes.
Even some of these go-getter CEOs and boss chicks and things like that. Because some of our sisters are so heavy in the ego, and in being a leader, accomplishing their dreams, that it's take no prisoner, and their egos. Women have egos. This is not male bashing, because this is not all men. It's some of our sisters out here. When I say sisters, I mean black, white, brown, green, and far in between. Ego is ego. In our sisterhood, that there are women who don't know anything else but other than to be in charge of or lead a certain thing. And we talked about this in the Soft World episode that we did, is that there's a whole lot of hustle and hard out there, and we become conditioned to the hardness of the world that we live in, because we're at work or managing our businesses more often than we're home being mothers and wives and nurturers. So that heavy, heavy masculine ego takes over, and we don't leave room. And I've been guilty of this. I don't leave room for compromise or discussion. I will make a decision, and it will just be matter of fact. That's it. I said, that's it. I said it. This is what we're doing. And this is how I need you to fall in line. And I was talking to the people in my house like soldiers.
Wow.
I was talking to the people in my house like soldiers. And then I would say, I am the president, the governor, the mayor, and the city commissioner of this here thing. And this is your role, and this is what you do. I did that for years. I have to admit that. And I apologize to my children. I didn't do no other apologizing. But I will say that, I had to do that because I had to counter that eclipsing ego that I was married to. And his personality was so strong. But this is the thing.
Yes.
I had to see. There's a flip side to everything because see, I can't have no weak dude. Now, my ex-husband's energy, I had to have someone strong-minded, as strong as he was, because he could, as they would say, he could deal with me.
Right.
He'll give me a little bit of that, right? But it was when the ego was so heavy, then we were no longer communicating so that we could plan and do life together. Now it was barking orders. And then it was the grooming of the mindset of what I say. And this was the thing.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I'm not.
There, that part. True.
But I'm not.
True.
That would kill me. I could be wrong, but I'm not.
Ego, the control.
Yeah. And then when I found myself, this is the thing. I was 15 years a long time. So I started taking on some of those
35 years is
in the name of Jesus. Man, listen, I started taking on some of that mannerism.
Yes.
I started taking on some of that energy, and not just to combat and push back to him, because baby, Gail don't lay down and take. Now I push back.
Right.
But eventually that eclipse was so strong.
But the tired, when I mentioned the tired, when I got tired of this in my house with me and my children, and I saw the damage that was being done because my children had ideas, they had voice, they knew some things they wanted to do, things they wanted to accomplish. But when the person that you're under as a young person or the parents that
The
you're
leadership.
under, see, I was total opposite. I believe my children should be able to test the waters. If you want to run track or you want to cheer or you want to do and you just fill in the blank, they should be able to do it. That's how they find out who they are supposed to be. That's how they find out what they want to do. And that's where I came in, because I found myself now shifting to protect them from what I was fighting. And then they pick up on that energy from the mom and the dad, and now they're feeling a certain way. But I am not an ego-led female. I believe in what's right. I believe in hearing what the person next to me has to say, how they feel, and how are we going to accomplish this to the next level so that everybody is happy, not just you dictating and thinking you're leading by your control of everything. So then what happens is you become lonely in your own relationship or in your partnership, and you're by yourself, you're unhappy, and they're just still going on and on and on with this same BS that they keep doing the only way they know how. So now you're talking about the destruction of a union. You're talking about the destruction of a relationship. You're talking about the destruction of people's minds when God has given them duty,
a purpose.
And that person with the ego is holding them down. They don't know it. The people under them, some don't understand. I understood what was going on. I had to make a decision. I got tired. I knew that God had a calling on my life and on my children's lives. So I had to make a decision. I'm sorry, but my decision, what moved me? And sometimes your ego allows you to lose good people and allows you to lose good people and for you to see the goodness in the person after you lost them.
That is the thing. Because the lesson is in the losing. There is a lesson in the losing. And what we often see as, we say, was a loss, it was not a loss at all. And although it was uncomfortable and there was a shifting happening there, and we feel like, why did it take us so long? And I just had a conversation with a very good friend of mine last night. And I said, most of the time, we don't even realize what we've been through until we're out of it and we get to look back and see who we were in that thing. And when you're in that thing and you look at how long you were in there, but look at the lessons that came out of what we keep identifying as a loss. Be mindful of your words. Be mindful of what you say, because your mind absorbs what you say to yourself, what you think about yourself. And a lot of that eclipsing ego, it will hammer down some words to you that can become ingrained in
even those below you too.
Absolutely. And then our instinct is to somehow maneuver the best way we can and protect our kids in that environment. And I will tell you, first and foremost, cannot lose sight of, like Tammy said, because we're in these unions, relationships, and partnerships. Is it God-led and spirit-fed? How did you end up there? Was that your decision? Did God drive you there?
Yeah.
Or did you make a decision? I done said this before. Or did we make a decision for ourselves? Say, well, I want to go do this.
Right.
But did God lead you there?
Right.
And it's not that you got to take ownership of all the things that have happened around you. I don't want to say happen to you, because I don't believe things happen to us. They happen around us, and it's up to us how we respond to it. It took me a long time. It took me a long time to respond properly.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you something. I spent a lot of time. Because, honey, I used to go toe-to-toe, baby. Don't threaten me with no good time. Because I would tongue lash you and spit so much venom on you, baby. I'd do it all day up.
Yeah.
Day in and day out, and that's what we used to do.
Well, true. I was told, you're so competitive. Well, of course, yes, I am. But the way you're looking at my competitiveness is that you didn't like it because I'm going against you.
Mhm.
You didn't look at my competitiveness as, oh, wait a minute, I have this beautiful young lady next to me. We can use her competitiveness and my know-how. We can build something. Insult.
Absolutely. Now you're opposing them.
Right.
And the thing is, in my scenario, he loved that banter. I was a worthy opponent. That fed him. The more I cussed the more I cussed him out, the more he was coming forward. He enjoyed that crap. And it took me a long time to understand that was feeding that eclipsing ego. And he continued to do it. And I failed to realize it for so long.
Right.
So I want to tell you something. We are going to come back and go through steps of how the ego, is that such a thing?
Oh, it's a hard one, but we will talk about it.
We will talk about it when we come back. We'll see you on the other side.
Hey, sis.
Welcome back. Thank you for being here on the other side. First and foremost, we want to say thank you for being here with us on the Simply Sisters podcast. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. It means so much to us, the feedback that you give us. Please continue to send in your feedback, your topics. We love it. It means so much to us that we do not take it lightly that you're here joining us today. If you want to send us feedback or send in a topic that you want us to discuss, please email us at info@simplysisterspodcast.com. Go to our website and make yourself at home in there. Join the Simply Circle family. Visit www.simplysisterspodcast.com. Go in the description and click on the links. Go follow our Facebook page. We are on a journey to 200 followers so that we can be live and come in and show you some behind the scenes in real time life that's Simply Tammy and I do together along with our team, with our boss lady. And you might see how she got to whip us into shape. Sometimes, we need supervision. Oh, the confessions.
Come back here, girl. Get back.
I love it. So we're going to reel it back in there. We're going to come back with talking about how do you reconcile the ego, or do you reconcile the ego? And that's with men or women. Is there such a thing as reconciling the ego?
Well, there is, if the person with the ego is willing to listen and hear, but also often it's not until things happen that come back the karma from it, that come back comes back to hit them, okay? And that
Mhm.
you do understand that those things that you do come back to you. And I'm going to go two places here. And the first is this, is that ego is a sin. So
Sin is sin,
if you're egotistical and you're leading within an ego,
yeah.
you already wrong. So when these men or these women want to lead with this ego that they've been taught from wherever,
Yeah, they've been taught
and
that.
then I can go into that, but I don't have time.
Right.
But if the person with the ego doesn't listen, and there are some that listen, but the flip side of that is after you've lost or something has come and derailed your thought process and put you in situations that you don't know how to get in. And then the first thing you want to say, but I didn't know. No, it was that you did not listen. You didn't pay attention and you're self-centered and that's all you cared about. But then that leads into what we call, some people just have to have control, because if they don't have control, that means it doesn't go right, which means we got to go into another thing that means faith and belief. See, this thing just goes. Do you agree?
And I do agree. And a lot of times, with ego-led individuals, male and female, you got to understand that cognitively there is something ingrained in them that they do not feel worthy or competent if everything does not go their way. So what happened in their lifespan that created or planted these seeds? And I knew what the nurturer was of those seeds in my ex-husband. I knew where they come from. I had witnessed who planted those seeds. So not only did I have to stand in who I am with that person, and at the same time protecting him from that person.
Because that's what you thought you were
Because that's what
supposed
I thought I was supposed to do, not knowing that the tentacles that were laid with those seeds that was forever attached to that person who wasn't taught that he was able to do things differently, that he was able to open up his mindset and have an open mind on how to do relationships, on how to do business. Now, I will say he was a phenomenal businessman, but how to do relationships, how to cope. There was no coping mechanisms when things don't go their way. If that ego is bruised, instinct is to be combative and defensive. Not to communicate and to open up dialogue. And that's men and women alike. There are so many people out here where the head is so heavy with the ego, the neck can barely hold it up. And the neck, meaning the support system, meaning that spouse, that partner, whomever, you're at risk of cracking because you're trying to not only hold up that heavy, and I say ecliptic, that eclipsing ego, because it's eclipsing you, it's eclipsing your voice, it's darkening out anything that's outside of their perspective and their mindset. You get lost in the shuffle. You get lost. So if you're lost and not aligned, then where are you going?
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
And that's true, because, and what I found was that, of course, the tentacles and things that have happened in their previous life before you, and how they were reared and groomed, place a great value in who they are. So my thing is two things. And when you were meeting someone or entering into a business agreement or going to work for, however you want to label it, pay attention. People get excited. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, he got this. Oh, he got money. Oh, he's got generous. He's so such and such. And they fall into it, and then they lose themselves because they didn't pay attention. And we're telling you this so you can pay attention.
That's the point.
It's important. And let me tell you something. I have taught my kids the value of this. So when they meet people now, they know the checklist. They know the checklist. Pay attention to, okay? And they do. And so they don't find themselves in these raggedy, one-sided, crazy relationships. They're able to view because they've been taught. Some people, our ex-husbands, they weren't taught some of this stuff. Now, I can't say my ex-husband, He took care of business. We want a man that takes care of business.
Mhm.
But there were things that I kept bringing to his attention that he just did not want to listen to.
Wasn't equipped with the tools to receive information.
So his ability to cope and his ability to hear me, and it was after we separated that God began to show him things, and he had a few aha moments. But it was in our conversation after that he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know."
But it's the day late and $2 short, baby. The ship has sailed. Stone has been turned. And when you you hear your voice for the first time and it has meaning,
Yes.
and you value your own voice over what you've been groomed to listen to, over what you've been groomed to accept, when you hear and value your voice for the first time, and you start connecting your voice and anchor that to God, I promise you, you won't listen to anything else. You won't listen to anything else. Apologies, and I'm telling you, the apology ain't came from me yet, child.
Well,
And it
received
ain't,
on it.
you know, and when it doesn't come, I had to find the space where I'm okay knowing that the apology is not coming because it didn't dilute who I am.
Yeah, but if we understand the processes, that you do not need an apology
You don't.
from the person or the persons for you to become whole and move on.
Yeah, you don't.
Because if you hang on to that, you are
Still in bondage.
stagnating, or you're still not allowing yourself to move forward and grow and mature.
So are you
And
waiting
to
for
who you're
permission?
supposed to be. And then there's a battle you're going through until you finally say, you know what? And it's an anger that you have and a resentment.
Mhm.
You have to say, hey, look, and I'm telling you now, right here today, nobody owes you an apology. The
No.
only thing you owe yourself is to say it happened. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Decide who you want to be and move forth, because you may never receive the apology that you think you deserve.
Exactly. Because the path doesn't stop for an apology that you may never get.
It's true.
And it's a decision that you're making to stay there and wait for permission.
Yes.
Permission from an oppressive environment.
Right.
Are you really going to wait for that? Or are you going to continue, move forward?
Mhm.
Because sometimes we have to allow ourselves to acknowledge, first of all, the biggest
Mhm.
victory is when you acknowledge what happened or where you were.
Where you were.
You allow yourself to say, okay, that happened.
Right.
You didn't like it.
Right.
How do I grow from here?
Right.
Because I'm still me.
Right.
I am still me. And now you have an opportunity to step out of that lane and step into your lane.
Right.
Get anchored in your
Right.
source. Now the light is on for you. Now you see that light.
Right.
You've been eclipsed.
Tell them.
By this ego.
Yes.
That your light was blocked. You've been eclipsed. Now you step out that lane and your light is on, and that light is green for go.
But you know what I want to say? Is the light is green for go, but don't you become egotistical to the point
Don't
where
take that with
you don't listen and you think you have to control the scenario or your next because you allow somebody else to control you before. It doesn't work like that. Your control now becomes in God and being God led, because He is all things and He's the perfect one. You're not. We're not. We're just giving you the essence, giving you the meat, giving you the knowledge. God is the one who's going to lead you after you get out of this. Now you have to decide in your mind that you want to follow and that you want to be obedient and that you want to listen and that you want to be patient, because there's just a step. And it's not this, it's this. It's a growth thing. And we're not saying, yes, you're going to remember this stuff. Yeah, we remember and we're talking about it. But guess what? We've done the work. We've done the healing. We know that if you don't like carrots, don't eat them. So now we don't want to eat the carrots we used to eat.
Don't make Tammy eat no mixed vegetables. She ain't gonna eat.
I'm not going to eat them.
If y'all don't know how to be
either.
there, she finna eat no mixed vegetables. But what I'm gonna say to that, Tam, is this: the biggest decision
Mhm.
or the aha moment
Yes.
you ever have is that you don't control anything. We are not in control. We have to lean into being used by God to do the perfect will and pray for the strength and the knowledge to let our hands do the work that they have been assigned for us to do. We are not in control. Now, oftentimes you will hear us say, you're in control of your narrative. That meaning you make a decision. You make a decision of what is going to lead you. You make a decision on what you're anchored in.
Mhm.
If you are anchored in God
Mhm.
and you know that you are not in control, that faith pleases God.
Yes.
And when you go meet him, all you have to do, lean into your faith. Because what I have found out, and some of my clients have shared this with me,
Mhm.
was they didn't know that they had to make a certain decision to put themselves in proximity to be in a certain space, and God was there waiting. He was there. He was there waiting for you to show up,
Right.
waiting for you to decide that my faith in my God
Right.
is bigger than your ego.
Right.
My purpose
Right.
is bigger than anybody's ego. So you show up, lean into the decision to let God. When they say let go and let God, that is the hardest thing you will ever do, but it'll be the most worthwhile work that you will ever do.
Let me just say this, that we spoke about this last episode. We have a vision that God gives us. And so God says, okay, here it is. These are your chess pieces. And you are handed what you asked for, but then it's going good and it's developing, and you think that you are a part of, but you are still maneuvering in that thing in your own mindset. What happens is, and if you have people within that with you, you end up losing again because God has given you what you asked for. He's given you the chess pieces, but you still playing chess, which means you now, that good thing that you asked for and that you were building because of your ego and your insight or your lack of sight, and you're not seeing how you're affecting the board, you lose.
Lord, don't give me no chess pieces. Give me some goldfish or give me some Uno cards. But don't draw four on me, please.
Don't sit me at a space.
Listen, this is what we do. We try to tell God how to give it to us.
Right.
And not believing that when he give us a thing, he's equipped us. He's given us everything we need to do it. So when you be mindful, when you are sincerely, you humbly opening yourself up and you communing and talking to God. When he show up with what you asked for, don't say, oh, no, not this one. I meant that. No. When he give it to you, you start being prayerful about, God, show me.
Yes.
Give me the wisdom and the knowledge to do this thing
Mhm.
so that I can do the work you have for me to do. Now, well, I want you to do this. No. Greet him with asking for instructions, not your wish list. Because some of the stuff we've been
But then you begin this stuff, and then people within the thing become accusatory of stuff that's not happening and that's not going on, but that's their lack of experience in leading. But they put on the facade as though they have the ability to do so. And putting on a facade or ability to do something and being able to do it and fooling people into think you know how to do it while you're losing one by one by one, and you can't figure out in your life why this is happening that way, but you're still going out, you're still putting on and presenting yourself as this, but you have to do the healing in order for this to happen. And when you have something great presented to you and handed to you and you lose it because of your own ego and your destructive mind, that's a problem. So get right with the divine and stop faking.
Seems like I heard that statement before. Can you say that one more again, Simpli Sammy?
You can't fake this. You cannot.
You can.
You can fool the people, but your reward comes from God, not people. Okay? So I don't know how else to present it to you. Your reward, which we never know when we're going to close our eyes. So if you faking and you doing things to then and you're not right with the Lord, you know that comes into play as well. But get yourself in line with what's right and understand what goes wrong so that when something goes wrong, you can say, okay, this is wrong. You don't necessarily have to fix it yourself, but you may have somebody there that can assist you with the fix.
But when they can't fix it, that is a challenge for them because they feel inadequate. And then that comes from what's been embedded, implanted in them, in their rearing, and what they've seen and what they've been told. When they can't meet the mark or something doesn't go as planned, they get defensive.
That's nice.
Because they feel inadequate because they did not meet what they said they could do when it doesn't happen. Now they're inadequate. Now they're angry. And whatever happened in childhood or whatever happened when that seed was planted, that you're not enough and that you're the problem, that root, remember, their roots become your weeds. That root that's planted in them springs up and it grows over to your garden. It becomes a weed. And that is a weed you will never manage because it belongs to a root that is not attached to you. That is their root. And I learned that. So we want to tell you.
We could go on and
we could really go on and dissect this thing in this multi-layered. But first and foremost, please get anchored in your source and not in people. Don't fight a fight of trying to reconcile people's egos because I'm going to tell you wholeheartedly, I don't know if that exists. But seek God first for your direction and for your lessons. This has been a phenomenal discussion.
I love it.
Simply, Tammy, and I love this type of stuff. We can't wait to have our live events so we can be up close and personal with you all. Please continue to like, share, and follow the Simply Sisters podcast. Visit our website. Join the Simply Circle family. The links are in the description. We want to hear from you. Engage with us in the comments. We respond to the comments. But most importantly, we cannot wait to see you again next week. Thank you for your support and join us because there's so much to talk about.
And continue to fight up and make things happen beautifully.
We love you all. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.